Hey, welcome back to the CG Racing YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of my aero mods. I have 3 of them, all from Aerofab. We have the V1 front splitter, rear spoiler extension, and the rear diffuser. I've had the rear spoiler for just over a year now, and I've had both the front splitter and the rear diffuser for just over 6 months. So we're going to be doing a review on all of that across the board today, so let's get it started. So first off, we have the V1 front splitter, and the difference between the V1 front splitter and the V2 front splitter from Aerofab is the supporting rods here, and then that the splitter pokes out a little bit more because it has those supporting rods. The splitter is held on by about 12 to 16 bolts underneath. Aerofab provided plenty of spacers and washers and nuts and bolts and everything you would need to mount it on. The big tips that I would have for install for this would be you would probably want a second person, because when you're pulling off the front bumper, you do have these fog lights and the connectors are hooked in through the fog lights. So if you pull the bumper off without getting those connectors unhooked, you will rip up your fog lights. I almost messed up this one over here the first time I pulled my bumper, but we luckily saved it. My second tip would be to put the tie rods on when the bumper is off the car, because you do have to pull the bumper off the car to put this mod on. I made the mistake of not doing that and spent about 45 minutes fiddling under the car with an Allen wrench trying to get these bolted in and lined up, and it was a pain. So do that when the bumper is off the car. It will save you much trouble. Don't make the mistake that I did. And I mean, no issues so far. I know a lot of people have issues with scraping their front splitter when in low areas. I have scraped a couple times, but there is no signs of damage on here. They just, Aerofab and Rich at Aerofab just designed this thing to take a beating and not show wear. The one issue I did have with the front splitter is that this badge right here from factory was black, and over time, because of a bad UV coating, it has turned to gold. However, I did bring this up to Aerofab and they immediately sent me a new badge to put on that is gloss black. I'll see if I can find a picture and throw it up here. It's right back in. They sent it to me free of charge, no issues. It got here in 2 days. I just haven't gotten around to put it on. I will probably do that the next time the car is up on jack stands, which should be soon, because I'm looking at getting some new rotors and pads soon. So we should have an install of that coming up in the future. Moving on to the rear of the car, by far the most liked mod on my car, I get the most comments about this right here, is the rear spoiler extension from Aerofab. It was the cheapest mod of my aero package that I put on my car at only $165. And it is actually incredible. I've run this thing through multiple mechanical car washes that have the rollers that come over the top and the back, and I've had no issues with it being beat up or anything like that. It is held on by 4 bolts. I don't know if you can see, there's 2 bolts right here and there's 2 on each side. And then it also has 2 pieces of 3M VHB double-sided tape that run all the way across the back right here. It's got one long one and one that's a little bit shorter. But this thing is by far the most talked about and commented on piece of my car that I've had so far. It was super easy to install. All you have to do is pull this plastic piece right here, and then there's 1 bolt and a couple clips behind there that pull this whole extended spoiler, and then you can just bolt this on. Like the front splitter, I would recommend having 2 people. It makes it significantly easier when trying to get this off, as the hatch does have to be open in order for you to get that off, so you can have issues with dropping that on your paint and breaking it. Alrighty, the final mod on our list today is the Aerofab rear diffuser, and this came in at $315 on our list today for the price. And this one was one of the more challenging ones to put on, as I did need a second person, and with these side fins here, they were kind of tricky to put on, as there was nothing really to line them up with other than just this angle of the car here, so those were a bit tricky. But what's really cool about this factory, or this diffuser from Aerofab, is that it goes over the factory diffuser, so there's no removing this factory diffuser right here. It just pops right on top of it and bolts in. The one thing that you do have to remember if you're going to pick this up is that if you have factory mud flaps, and mine, the sturdy back of the car here. But if you do have mud flaps, those come down right here, and you wouldn't be able to have these as well as the mud flap. Alrighty, so now we're gonna do a price breakdown of my GTI here with those aero mods. So it was $365 for our front splitter, $315 for the rear diffuser, and $165 for the rear spoiler, all shipped here to me in Atlanta from North Carolina in 3 days. So that was incredible shipping on Aerofab. I'll throw down a price breakdown somewhere up here on the screen and you guys can take a look at that. Alrighty, that's going to be it today for our mod review from the Aerofab 3 parts that we had today: the front splitter V1, the rear spoiler, and the rear diffuser. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section, and we'll see you next time.